Diggy, we almost ready? I can begin? Order, please. Order, please. It is December 2nd, 2021, Thursday. This is the Providence City Council regular meeting. We're going to call this meeting to order. I am Councilman President John Igliozzi. We have here with the City Solicitor Jeff Dana and our illustrious City Clerk Corps. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
Chief Taylor was slowed on the draw, but you're gonna have to make it up later, buddy. With that said, let's call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Council President Igliozzi.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Whip Castillo. Councilman Correa. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Present.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Present.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris is absent. Councilor Kerwin. Present. Councilwoman LaFortune. Present. Councilor Miller. Present. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Councilwoman Ryan. Present. Councilor Salvatore is absent. Majority Leader Taylor. Councilman Vargas. You have 12 present and 3 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You all could rise. Invocation by Councilman, Senior Deputy Majority Leader Nicholas Narducci.
Thank you. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Tonight, I'd like to dedicate this prayer to all of our friends and family that unfortunately could not have a good holiday last year because of everything going on with the pandemic. A lot of us lost a lot of family members, a lot of friends. It was so nice sitting Thursday at Thanksgiving dinner with the family. Lord, bless us moving forward on this Christmas holiday season and hope that we can continue fighting as Americans in the country that we so love. Everything that they always throw at us, Lord, we always fight and we always come up ahead of the game. And in my heart, there's nothing like family. Lord, please, again, bless us all as one big family and let us move healthy into the 2022 year. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Item number 2, the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman, Finance Chair Joanne Ryan.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Item number 3,
Election, item number 3, election of 1 member of the Retirement Board of the Employees Retirement System.
to the City Council members, do we have any nominations to
Mr.
said
President,
position?
at
Senior
this-
Deputy Majority Leader Narducci.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to nominate Joe Cali.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Majority Leader Taylor. Are there any other counter nominations? Are there any other counter nominations? Are there any other counter nominations? With that, Madam Clerk, all in favor? Aye. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that the City Council has voted, logged in 1 vote on behalf of Mr. Cali.
So noted.
Thank you. Item number 4,
Approval of minutes, item number 4.
Majority Leader. Actually, motion to waive the readings first. Majority Leader, motion to waive the reading.
Well,
and-
motion to waive the readings of number 4.
And to approve?
And approve.
Said motion. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second motion.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appointments by
Next
His
item.
Honor the Mayor.
Majority Leader
Mr.
Taylor.
President, motion to waive the readings of items 5 and 6.
Do I have a second?
Second motion.
By Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Refer to the Committee on Finance. Item number 7.
Item number 7.
Mr.
Majority Leader
President,
Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of items 7 through 10.
I have a motion by Majority Leader Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second motion, Mr.
Second by Senior
President.
Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Receive those items, Madam Clerk. Item number 11.
Appointments by the.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to amend item 11, stating that Lady Frias is being appointed to the Juvenile Hearing Board.
Do I have a second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader
Second motion.
Narducci? Yes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, do we have a motion to approve
Receive,
as
sir.
amended?
Oh,
Motion to approve as amended.
By Majority Leader Taylor.
Second motion.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 11 passed as amended, Madam Clerk. Item number 12.
Item 12.
Mr.
community-
President.
Taylor.
Waive the readings of number 12. Motion to waive the readings of number 12.
Motion by Majority Leader Taylor, second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Madam Clerk, received item number 12. Item 13.
Presentation.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of number 13.
I have a second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Madam Clerk, refer that item to Committee on Finance.
So noted.
Item number 14.
Item 14.
Mr. President, motion to waive the readings of items 14 through 15 and pass on a voice vote.
Said motion by Majority Leader Taylor, second by Senior Deputy Narducci. Discussion.
Mr. President,
Council President Pro Tem Pedro Espinal.
thank you
Sir,
so
you
much,
have it.
Mr. President. As we know, water access to the shore, access to the shoreline is critically important to the people of Providence, the area that I represent. And so the city of Providence joined CRMC in declaring the end of public street as a public access to water. So what this resolution does, it actually asks the Department of Public Works to install sidewalks, new pavement, and also lighting. This is important to my community. So I want to thank in advance my colleagues for the support on this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Espinal. Any other further comments? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Madam Clerk, item 14 and 15 is passed on a voice vote. Item number 16, please.
Item 16.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to have the clerk read item 16 into the record and pass on a voice vote.
By second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Have a discussion. All in favor? Aye. Madam Clerk, read item number 16 into the record.
Item 16, resolution recognizing retired Providence Fire Chief George Farrell. Whereas George Farrell served over 30 years in the Providence Fire Department, working his way up the ranks from a firefighter all the way to fire chief, where he served from 2007 until his retirement in 2011. And whereas, in addition to his work with the City of Providence, Chief Farrell also served as the Rhode Island State Fire Marshal from 2006 to 2007. And whereas, upon his retirement, Chief Farrell has remained an active member of the community in his role as the chairman of the Rhode Island Fire Chiefs Honor Flight Hub, which is dedicated to honoring veterans by offering World War II and Korean War veterans a no-cost trip to visit the memorials in Washington, D.C. And whereas, since November 2012, the Rhode Island Honor Flight Hub has completed 25 flights and served over 800 veterans. And whereas, as an elected member of the Ward 5 District Committee, Chief Farrell has dedicated his career to public service and is deserving of all the praise the City of Providence has to offer because of his years of service and continuous dedication to the people of Providence and Rhode Island veterans. Now therefore be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby extends its deepest gratitude to retired Fire Chief George Farrell for his dedication to veterans. Be it further resolved that upon passage, copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Mayor of Providence and Chief George Farrell.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Joanne Ryan. Councilwoman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to invite Chief Farrell to join me at my seat. I think that thank you, George. I think that the resolution speaks for itself. Many of you know Chief Farrell. He served the city of Providence for many, many years as chief of the fire department. He had a tremendous career and he retired. And one would think that he would be enjoying his retirement and relaxing as playing golf. But George then became the Rhode Island State Fire Marshal from 2006 to 2007. Then he decided to retire, but that wasn't enough for George. So he decided he was going to serve his community further as chairman of the Rhode Island Fire Chiefs Honor Flight Hub. And in that role, George has shepherded the passage of over 800 veterans to the war memorials, the World War II and the Korean War Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. I know that it's been touching for George. I know that it's a very meaningful role that he plays. And I know by talking to some of the veterans that you've impacted, the deep feeling that they get when they visit those war memorials. Their lives in service to our country. And you, sir, our community very, very well in your retirement. And well, thank you for that. So let's have a nice round of applause. I'd also like to provide a City of Providence citation to George. Be it hereby known to all, the Providence City Council hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to George Farrell, Chairman of the Rhode Island Fire Chiefs Honor Flight Hub, in recognition of your unwavering commitment and dedication to veterans and for your service as Chairman of the Rhode Island Fire Chiefs Honor Flight Hub, sending over 800 veterans to visit the memorials in Washington, D.C. The members of the City Council extends their very best wishes on this memorial occasion, memorable occasion, and express the hope for continued good fortune. Given the second day of December at City Hall by John J. Igliozzi, City Council President, sponsored by Joanne Ryan, and all of the members of the Providence City Council. And that is. I also have another one. This is from the state of Rhode Island, General Treasurer Seth Magaziner recognizes George Farrell for your years of service and dedication to the people of Rhode Island. Wherefore, I have underset my seal and affixed the seal of the office of General Treasurer of the state of Rhode Island this 22nd day of the month of November in the year of 2021. Seth Magaziner, General Treasurer, the state of Rhode Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to also recognize his lovely family that is here. His mother, his sister, his
George.
lovely wife, and his lovely daughter. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you all. Stand up.
And most
George,
importantly,
if you'd like to join me on the podium. you're
oh,
more than
nice.
welcome.
I'd also like to thank the family members who have given George to us and allowed him to serve his community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ryan. Madam Clerk, item number 17. Let's be voted, right? All in favor, just in case. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? There we go. Item number
Report-
17, Madam Clerk.
Sure. Reports
Mr.
from committee.
President,
Majority Leader.
motion to
Taylor.
waive the reading of items 17 and 18 and receive and approve.
Second
Second
motion.
by Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. Council President Pro Tem Pedro Espinal. Sir, you have the mic.
Just want to welcome Mr. Wasca to the team as the city sergeant, a man that I know for his integrity, his dedication, and his hard work. Welcome, Oscar.
Any other comments, questions? Madam Clerk, receive and approve. Also in the audience, do we have our new executive director? Farrell, stand on up, sir. Brent Crowley, and why don't the new city sergeant stand up, by the way? You have big shoes to follow. Welcome, congratulations, and we'll have high expectations for both of you. Next item number 19, Madam Clerk.
Committee on Ordinances,
Mr.
Councilman.
President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to pass item 19 for the first time on a roll call vote.
Second motion, Mr. President.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion? Council President Pro Tem Pedro Espinal. Sir,
Thank you,
have the
Mr.
floor.
President. Just want to be grateful and thankful to my colleagues that have expressed support on this very important item and zoning change for our community of District 10. We had a public hearing and the support was very big, overwhelming. And also I want to thank especially Councilman Narducci of the Ordinance Committee and the members, as well as Leader Harris, Councilwoman Castillo, and Councilwoman Miller. This is important to our community. We have an opportunity to do something to actually get it right. Because when you talk about public safety, when you talk about public health and the welfare of our community, this ordinance change actually does just that. So on behalf of my constituents, on behalf of the people of South Providence and Providence entirely, I want to be grateful and thankful to the body ahead of time. And I think that this is a step in the right direction. So thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman President Pro Tem Espinal. Any other further comments, questions, concerns on that item? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Council President Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony is absent. Majority Whip Castillo. Councilman Correa. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris is absent. Councilor Kerwin. Aye. Councilwoman LaFortune. Aye. Councilor Miller. Aye. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Councilwoman Ryan. Aye. Councilor Salvatore is absent. Majority Leader Taylor. Councilman Vargas.
Aye.
You have 13 ayes, 3 absent. The motion carries. The matters passed for the first time on a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item number 20.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to pass item 20 on a voice vote.
Second motion, Mr. President.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion? Council President Pro Tem
Mr.
Pedro
President.
Espinal.
Again, thank you so much. Again, thanks to my colleague. And what this resolution does is actually just joins the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island, actually asking that the declaratory order be denied for a C3 project that's been proposed before the Energy Siting Board. And this resolution adds the name of the legislative body of our city council. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Espinal. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next item 21.
From the clerk's desk,
Majority Leader Taylor.
Mr. President, motion to waive the readings of items 21 through 23.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, refer those items to the Committee on Ordinances, please. Item number 24.
item 24, petition for compensation for injuries and damages.
Madam Clerk, refer those items to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits.
Noted.
Item number 25.
Communications and.
Mr.
report.
President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of 25 through 27.
No,
No, you can't.
25
to
25 to
26.
26. please.
25 to 26,
A
sorry.
motion to waive the readings on 25 and 26
That motion I'll
by
second.
Majority Leader Taylor, second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Receive those items, Madam Clerk. Item number 27.
Item 27, communication from Angela Bannerman Ancoma and Oscar Mejias, co-chairs, dated November 23rd, 2021, informing Mayor Jorge O. Alorza, Council President John J. Igliozzi, and the honorable members of the City Council of the COVID-19 Recovery and Resiliency Task Force Report Executive Summary.
Madam Clerk, refer that item to Committee on Finance. Item number 28, please. Oh, sorry. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. I first want to just thank all my council colleagues for supporting the resolution to create the task force so that we can work with the community and to obtain input from the community so that we can have an open and public process to provide recommendations on how to allocate the American Rescue Act Plan funds. For over 5 months, this committee has met, and this committee was made up of people and representatives from various entities that range from housing to economic development and opportunity, tourism, education, policy, philanthropy, community-based organizations. I sat on many of the community engagement meetings, and we heard from the community. We also sent out a survey that got about over actually 1,000 respondents, more than the survey, more respondents than the survey at the state level. And some of the top priorities included housing. We know there's a major housing in our state, in our city. We have a major housing stock issue. We have an old housing stock issue. And so hopefully what these recommendations can help do is to prioritize the needs of our community. And I do hope that as we discuss this in committee, we remember that these recommendations are based on community input. And it's really important that we value that and we take that into consideration because the community outlined what their needs are. They discussed it in the meetings, they indicated in the survey, and they shared at the meeting when they came to present. So I am very proud of the process. I am very proud of the task force that was made up of a diverse group of people. And I do hope that we can work together to ensure that these funds are investments that go into the city of Providence to address some of our top needs, and that we also have a sustainable process, and we're working with the state as well, because there are fundings that are at the state level, and there's some real coordination that can happen to address some of these top issues. So thank you all, and I look forward to further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Presentation of resolutions.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Motion to pass on a voice vote.
Second
Waive the
motion.
reading.
Second motion.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 29.
Presentation of resolutions in
Miss-
memoriam.
Mr.
Majority
President,
Leader Taylor.
motion to pass on a unanimous rising vote.
All rise in the chambers, please.
Second motion.
Motion by Majority Leader Taylor, second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Gentlemen, please rise. Please rise in the chambers, also in the auditorium. It's in behalf of people who have passed away in this great city and our loved ones. All in favor?
Aye.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Mr. President, motion to suspend Rule 16B of the rules of the City Council in order to take matters not appearing on the printed docket.
Second motion, Mr. President.
I have a second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion to suspend the rule. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to amend Rule 2A of the rules of the City
no.
Council.
No,
One
Oh, you
second. 1 second.
I thought it was this one.
Madam Clerk, before we go, Madam Clerk, has all the council members received the matters that do not appear on the printed docket? We all have them, council members? Thank you. Madam Clerk, Madam Clerk, item number 30 and 31, please.
Matters not appearing on the printed docket, presentation of resolution. Item number 30, Councilwomen Ryan, Harris, and Councilman Espinal. Resolution urging action by the state of Rhode Island relative to the housing and homelessness crisis.
Before I refer to the Committee on Housing Crisis Task Force, would any council members like to co-sponsor? Madam Clerk, I acknowledge that the entire council would like to co-sponsor item number 30. Going to
So
refer that
noted.
item to the Housing Crisis Task Force.
So noted.
Mr. President?
Councilwoman Ryan.
Thank you very much, sir. I would just like to take a moment to speak on this very important topic. As you all know, this body created a housing task force, and I am joined by my colleagues, Councilwoman Harris and Councilman Espinal on that committee. For weeks now, we've invited a myriad of folks in, housing experts, community members, state officials, city officials. And bottom line, everybody is working very, very diligently, collaboratively to try to find homes or housing for those in immediate need. Right now, we have 150 Rhode Islanders who do not have a roof over their head and are sleeping outside. About 40% of those are estimated to be Providence residents. It's unacceptable. What's even more unacceptable, we have money. We have federal dollars. On this body, I'm very, very proud of each and every one of my colleagues. Back in 2013, before my time, we created an affordable housing trust to address the housing need at the time. Then back in 2016, I believe, maybe 19, I'm sorry, we created the 10% allocation from our TSAs directly into to fund that affordable housing trust. That was sponsored by the president at the time, Council President Aponte, and it was pushed by our majority, Deputy Majority Leader Harris. She's been a strong advocate for housing issues since she started on the council. That wasn't enough. We needed more money. So this body passed a bond. It was a $20 million housing bond. Because we had worked so diligently on our finance team to improve our credit rating, we were able to get that $20 million, a premium of $6 million on that $20 million bond. So we got $26 million, and it's sitting there and it's available to create, restore homes for affordable homes. That's out there. That's what we've done. We've created this housing task force because we recognize we want to get people off the streets and we want it to happen as soon as possible. So this resolution essentially says, great, we're all working together, but we have an immediate need for homes for 150 people. Let's use that money. Let's listen to the people who have spoken very loudly and put together a plan to address unsheltered homelessness crisis. And that's the folks at Amos House, Crossroads, Rhode Island, House of Hope, Rhode Island Homeless Advocacy Project, the Rhode Island Coalition Against Homelessness, Westerly Area Rest and Meals, and others that have contributed to the body of work. We need to do better. We can do better. We have the resources. We need to get it done. It's unacceptable for me, and I know it's unacceptable for everyone sitting here, that 150 Rhode Islanders don't have a roof over their heads tonight.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilwoman. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci.
Yeah,
sir.
if I may. For years, homelessness has been an issue. For years, everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks. Nothing's been done. It's great to see the talk is continuing. But at Crossroads alone, there's almost 800 on a waiting list. Go behind the high rise on Charles Street. You'll see about 50 families. Go under our bridges. Go across the street from the Marriott. The city has funding. The state has billions of dollars they're sitting on. I have the perfect solution. I've had it for years. Find out how many buildings that we own in the city of Providence. Take these millions of dollars, revamp them into studio apartment, That's all these people that are homeless want, a roof over their head with a bed and a bathroom. That's all they're asking for. The state, take a ride down where the ACI is. Just counting quickly, I counted 5 abandoned buildings that the state, our reps, our senators, the governor, and everybody else that wants to talk about homelessness. Take this billions of dollars that you're sitting on, revamp them buildings. The solution is easy. We don't have room in our city anymore. We don't have room in our city anymore as far as to buy a piece of property and build 60, 70 units. I'm trying to do it now on Charles Street and get nothing but negative feedback from people that want to talk about having a housing problem. These are the people we should be, that project on Charles Street should be the easiest thing to help the guy get it developed. He's looking to do it for homeless veterans and he's getting no help. No help from the city, no help from the state. Okay, let's just keep talking about it. Let's keep meeting on it. And the more we do this, the more the problem's getting worse and worse. It's not getting better. I just gave you 2 perfect solutions. We don't have to purchase the buildings. The city already owns them. Just heard the finance chair say we got over 20-point-some million dollars. Start with a couple of these buildings. The state, we hear it, we just heard it recently on the news, billions of dollars they're sitting on that they're not spending. Again, and yeah, I'm repeating myself, but it's a matter that gets there. Purchase the buildings are ours again statewide. We own them. We own them. Take these billions of dollars and take a few million of it. Which when you're talking billions of dollars, a few million's nothing. Redo these buildings that we have on Pontiac Avenue. I'm not sure if it's Pontiac or the backside, near Pepsi. Is that Pontiac Avenue? Take those buildings, make them studio apartments. That's all these people are asking for. I had a guy living on the 146 overpass, and I tell the story to everybody. I got talking to him because some people, when you talk to them, they want the help. Like I said before, there's other people that they'll tell you just where to go. They don't want your help. This guy was a homeless veteran, $975 a month from the vets. $975 a month. Couldn't find a place to stay. This was about maybe 2 or 3 years ago when it wasn't as crazy. We were able to help him out with Crossroads. The guy, it was like we gave the guy $1 million. We got him a bed at Crossroads. But to him, he had a roof over his head. He had some stability, and he knew, he could put his head to rest at night. And he had heat in the wintertime. It's like I said, the solutions are there, but let's just keep talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. So one thing I want to remind everyone is, first, I want to thank Chair Ryan and Councilwoman Harris for all the work that they have done creating the Homelessness Task Force, and also the City Council. Many of you who are here, we were able to pass the housing bond and also really do some work in advocating to address our housing issue in our city. One of the things that I want to remind everyone is that homelessness and access to housing is a complex issue. Number one, our state spends less than $8 per person. Think about it. Less than $8 per person on housing. Massachusetts spends $99 per person on housing, which is still low. You look at the median income household for the city of Providence, it's about $40,000 per year. On any given day, over 1,000 people can be homeless in our state. And also, homelessness is defined in various ways. So you can be homeless and not have a house, an actual physical house that you have of your own, or a home of your own to go to, but you have a friend or friends and you're sleeping on their couches, that's not considered homelessness. And I know this firsthand because when I was a young mom and pregnant with my son and I had a housing crisis, I was homeless. And I was looking to sleep at a shelter. And I had friends who were like, just come stay with us. And I'm bouncing pregnant with a high-risk pregnancy and bouncing from one house to the next until I was able to find affordable housing, which was miles away from where I worked, which was an inconvenience because I didn't have access to transportation. Homelessness, housing is a complex issue. And the strategy has to be a multi-strategy approach. Because with housing, there are people who need services. For instance, there's a woman, and I'm not gonna say her name for privacy purposes, and many of you know who she is. I've talked to her. In fact, there are times that she's needed something to eat, and I purchased it, and other people throughout the community has helped her. This person has had housing, but then has lost housing because they weren't getting the services that they need to sustain that housing. So when we think about housing, we need to understand the needs of our community, because we can not only should we build more housing, but we also need to think about what are the wraparound services? What are the tools and resources people need, like access to healthcare, access to behavioral and mental health, access to transportation. When I went on a ride along with House of Hope, we met a gentleman who was sleeping in an alley off of North Main Street, closer down to South Main Street. And we gave him a ride to Onlyville, and I started talking to him, and I asked, well, where does your family live? He said, in Pawtucket. In Pawtucket. I said, well, why aren't you with your family? He's like, I can't afford to go there. I can't afford the bus. He couldn't get a job because he didn't have and he lost his license, he lost his social security card, but he couldn't get a social security card or a license because he didn't have an address. So when we talk about housing, we need to look at housing from a comprehensive perspective. And I agree with you. We've been talking about this for quite some time, but we also, like this is doing this resolution, is holding the state accountable, because the state has to prioritize housing and say, you know what we're spending on housing is not enough. Year after year, Housing Works comes out with reports and say, we need more housing. Kids Count says, children who do not have access to sustainable housing, those children are at risk to going to jail, not performing academically well in schools. And we look at our students, majority of them, over 90%, receive free and reduced lunch, right? And some of them have housing, all types of housing insecurities. So again, let's look at housing from a comprehensive perspective. Let's also hold the state accountable, because it's a real issue. And also people are afraid, because there are folks who are afraid to go into housing because they don't want to be in the system. So I do hope that this resolution, one, holds the state accountable so that they can finally prioritize housing in an equitable way. Two, we can think of how we can also come up with policies and initiatives to address housing. I introduced an ordinance over a year ago, a residential ordinance, and it's based on affordability that would incentivize developers to develop affordable housing opportunities. It's been sitting in committee. So we also need to think about what we're doing at the city council and how we can make sure that we're looking at these policies and passing them, and also providing input to make them stronger so that we can address our housing issue. So I do hope that we take a comprehensive approach. I know firsthand what it means to not have a home. I also know firsthand what it means to not have a safe home, because I'm a lead poisoning survivor, and that's what happens when you grow up poor. You experience instability, and you're constantly at threat. So I do hope, again, that we take it seriously, and we could really change the housing dialogue, not only in our city, but also be a catalyst for change at the state level. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman LaFortune.
Council President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
I beg to speak a second time on this matter. First of all, thank you, Councilwoman LaFortune, for your remarks We're not going to solve the housing crisis in a debate on the floor tonight for sure. But I do want to say this is an important resolution before you. It is about, as Councilwoman LaFortune mentioned, holding the state accountable to making sure housing is a priority. I know this council body firsthand has made sure it's a priority in everything we do by passing the $500,000 immediate needs APRA budget, as well as the bond and the 10% TSA funding. So it is important to us. It's a comprehensive issue. It's a housing shortage. It's a housing crisis that we face. And I encourage each and every one of you to participate in the housing task force meetings. I know that my colleagues who have participated have found it very interesting and informative. And we're hearing from experts. I think it's an appropriate forum to have lengthy discussions so that we can figure out, we have money. We're in a very unique situation that we have federal funding to solve a problem that's long plagued Rhode Island. The time is now, we need to act, but we need to get out of our own way. The state has funds that they can put on the street immediately. We have attempted to do that. We have the opera budget coming before finance, and I'm sure we're going to listen to experts, and we're going to get that money out as quickly as we can. But right now, we need to get money out immediately. And that's why we're calling on the state to use the funds that are sitting, the CARES dollars, the opera dollars they have. It's sitting just idle. Even the bond dollars are sitting idle. So that's what this resolution is about. It's not about the merits or the challenges of affordable housing. We all know what they are. And I know that every single member here appreciates that. Thank you.
Any other further comments, questions? Council President Pro Tem Espinal.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I just want to thank Councilwoman LaFortune, Leader Narducci, and especially Councilwoman Ryan. I'm a member of the task force, and it's been great serving in this task force because my philosophy, Mr. President, is today, no one should be homeless. There should be no one sleeping on the street, not especially in Providence. So Councilwoman Ryan is right with everything that she has expressed. We have had an opportunity to meet with experts. We have taken a deep dive into the causes of homelessness, but not just the causes, but also possible solutions and resources. And it all begins and it starts with a plan of action, which starts with this resolution here. So let's move this resolution forward and keep tabs on the state and all the stakeholders to put an end to homelessness. We can do it, and the time is now. No one else should be left out there by themselves, freezing to death. It falls on us as legislator, as government official. It is our responsibility. So thank you, Councilwoman Ryan, for taking the lead on this housing crisis task force and for inviting me to be a member. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Espinal. Item number 31.
Communication, item 31. Communication from Mayor Jorge O. Alorza dated November 30th, 2021, submitting the tentative agreement by and between the City of Providence, Rhode Island, and Local 799 International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, for the period of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2027.
Refer to the Committee on Finance. Majority Leader Taylor.
Mr. President, motion to amend Rule 2A of the Rules of the City Council to hold all regular City Council meetings in the year 2022 at 6:00 p.m.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. President, if there's no further business, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Providence Fire Retired Assistant Chief Joseph Arrico, Providence Fire Retired Battalion Chief Dennis Veccarino, Providence Fire Captain Thomas Jeremiah, Marie Forlini, Luigi Morocco, Robert D. Siderato, Dorothy Goulet, Maria Isabel Ortega, Anna Caceres, Ralph Salvatore, the father of Councilman David Salvatore, and Thomas Flanagan, brother of Councilwoman Joanne Ryan.
Do I have a second? Second by Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Before we adjourn, I want to also acknowledge to all the council members and to our constituents, we are coming upon the holiday season. So with these folks in mind, we think about the loved ones that are alive today also. So appreciate the time we have with our family and friends and our constituents, and wishing them all well, that they have a healthy and safe holiday season, that all of us will come back safe, healthy, wiser, and our constituents also in the coming year. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you. One other item, I need the special committee for the purpose of the observance of Christmas Day. I need the members to stay, which would be Councilwoman Joanne Ryan, Councilman Michael Correa. Stay a moment.